students. I think they had one for North of the Rock. They did. So if y'all have not read one of those books on their summer reading list, ask Miss Tammy or Mr. James to pull that list up for you, and at least this starting today, and you got 5 days to read one of the books on their summer reading list. But I got the school board president back there, and he'll be able to tell me if that's the truth or not. Was there a summer reading list they were supposed to read?
There was.
There was a summer reading list in high school. You should have read at least 2 of those books on that list. That's part of your back to school attitude, to know what's going on. Because we want y'all to go back to school and make A's and B's. And the way to do that is to be prepared, okay? So for all of y'all that are in high school, make sure, who you gonna ask? Your high schoolers, who you gonna ask? The high schoolers, who you gonna ask? For the list. Who you gonna ask for the list? Your high schoolers. Who in high school, raise your hands. Who you gonna ask for the list?
Miss Tammy.
Miss Tammy or Mr. Lawson? For that list. I want y'all to go back to school and be ready. But I have two real fine gentlemen here next to me. Mr. Edmond Davis, he is a instructor. He teaches at GERALD as well as Pulaski Tech. He's done all kinds of historical research about the history of our people. Very fine gentleman. He was born in Philadelphia, but he teaches history. He's going to college at Grambling. He's got his undergraduate degree, got his master's. He's now working with his PhD, which is his doctorate. So he loves school because he understands the importance of going to school and education. So, you know, he's one of the few black men around the country that's going on to decide, I'm going to get my doctorate. So in the next 6 months or so, they're going to be calling you what? Dr. Davis. Dr. Edmond Davis. He don't play. My man next to me, William Young, and what, another year, Will? He gonna have the letters MBA behind his name. MBA. Not MBA, but MBA. That's a Master's in Business Administration. He came from Blythe, Arkansas, grew up very hard, rough time. He had a rough time growing up. He played ball at Fernandez Smith College, but he saw beyond that. He knew he could make it in ball, but he wants to get his MBA. And when they get them letters behind their name, they're going to be worth a lot of money. They're going to make more money than most entertainers, most actors. They're going to get paid, as you can say. So I want them to share with y'all how they got there. He came from Philadelphia, a very rough neighborhood. To this day, they call, I ain't trying to put the city down, but they call Philadelphia, Philadelphia. Why do you think they call it that? Killing all the time. All the time. But he made it through there. He had a vision to do something better with his life. He decided to go through college. So what we're going to do is we're going to let Brother Davis, I'm going to call him doctor now. You know, I'm going to give it to him. I'm going to give it up to him. I'm going to let Dr. Davis just share some experience about his life, how he got to be Dr. Davis. And young brothers, I want y'all to really listen up. I want you young men to really listen up. I'm going to tell y'all why I want y'all young men to listen up. It's how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14 young boys in here. Now, based on statistics, how many of them boys going to prison?
6 out of that 14.
Based on statistics, 6 out of y'all going to go to prison because y'all don't go, because you don't go, because unfortunately, not y'all, because I know y'all want to do the right thing. Most boys don't want to go to school, do their homework and stuff like that. So that's over half the black men in America going to end up in jail. How many know somebody in jail right now? That's too many of us know somebody's in jail. That's why we're here. We're trying to save y'all. We don't want half the black men in this room to go to jail. So listen to this information. We're gonna be out of here and eating pizza in no time soon. So just give us your attention, sit up straight, give us your attention, and we'll be out here in this room in no time soon. So let's give a big hand for Mr. Dr. Davis.
Thank you, Patrick, for that warm welcome. And I want to make sure that everybody's sitting up. Oh. Okay, make sure we got this straight. Okay. Good evening. My name is Edmond Davis. Most folks call me Ed. I'm used to teaching in the higher education arena. I'm used to teaching people closer to my peer age in the mid-20s, the late 20s, and early 30s and such. It's not that often I get a chance to speak to persons half my age or people who are in the junior high school level or elementary school level or high school level. So I want to take this opportunity to welcome you all and thank you all for coming out, because I know you could be doing other things with your time. But by I see that you all are sitting here, we know that this is very important. It's not that often, gentlemen, the cliche of such as, well, Will to my left here, and Patrick, and of course your school board members and the other gentlemen in the room, get a chance to just sit down and break bread and have dialogue with you all. So while I'm here, while Will's sitting here, when this is all said and done, feel free to pick our brains, ask us any questions that you want to ask us, create a dialogue. Of course, if you want to create dialogue, that means that you have to be listening. That means that she has to be listening. I was sitting here for about 4 or 5 minutes. I see everybody's eyes going up into their heads, people getting up and just walking around. So if you have to go and use the restroom right now, go ahead and use the restroom. If you got a cough, go ahead and cough now. If you got to say something to the girl sitting next to you, go ahead and say it now. Because while I'm talking up here, I need your full attention, okay? That's the only way that you're going to get this message, if you're listening to me. Like Mr. Oliver said a second ago, we won't take much of your time, but the time that we will spend dispensing this information to you, it's going to be critical and hopefully crucial in a positive way, so we can help relate some of the things that we want to share with you all. So are y'all ready?
Yes.
I can't hear you. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Now, a little bit about myself, just a brief background of what Patrick said. I am from Philly. A lot of people call it Philadelphia because it's dirty, or Killadelphia because it's so sad. But as Dr. Bill Cosby said, brothers, namely black men, African-American males, my age and younger, between the ages of 15 to 24, they're killing each other, left and right. I call it the new reverse KKK. They're the new Klansmen. They're the ones that's killing us. It ain't the guys in the white sheets anymore, okay? Over silly, petty things, okay? Stepping on my shoes, taking some money, all these types of things, okay? So we're trying to reverse that. We're trying to eliminate that element. They're always going to have a criminal element, but we're trying to minimize it as much as possible. And how do you do that? This is the most powerful weapon that you could ever have. Don't let anybody ever tell you otherwise. It's not a pistol, it's not a knife, it's not a basketball, it's not a football, it's not a soccer ball. It's this weapon right here, okay? It empowers you, it takes you to other levels. And that's what we're going to talk about here. Being from Philly growing up, as Mr. Oliver said, in a rough neighborhood. I don't know if you all know, if you read the bio or not. It's not even on my biographical sketch. I was homeless for about 2 months. Okay, a lot of people don't know that. So when I look at somebody that's homeless, I don't see a person who's just a bad person. I see something else. We have a lot of Vietnam veterans, a lot of persons who served in our armed services who are homeless. We have a lot of people with PhDs and master's degrees, right, Will? MBAs that are homeless due to circumstance. I'm one bad decision away from being homeless again. I'm one bad decision away from being locked up. All I have to do is go out in the middle of the street and beat somebody up, and I'll be in jail. There's no turning back from that. So we have to get you all in the right set of mind with education, with being properly organized and properly and adequately ready to go back to school. These types of things help you out, and it starts now. It's not too late. They're doing statistics right now on 3rd grade reading skills, math, writing, social sciences, and they're having this correlation between how many beds that are going to be made in prison, okay? Because people of color, namely African Americans, we're not holding that standard. We've dropped below the national average. So they say, this is what they tell you. They tell you this to discourage you. And so, of course, we're trying to give you some positive re-encouragement about doing some positive things. Okay, so being from Philly, being homeless, I've been locked up 3 times. Young man, how many times did I say I was locked up? Oh, see, he's not listening. Okay, but I need you to listen, okay? So, of course, being locked up on more than one occasion for petty things, I can't blame nobody for what I did. I didn't have anybody else running with me. I did it by myself, okay? And of course, the Lord's given me 2 or 3 chances to get it right. So I've gotten it right. I've closed that chapter in my life, okay? I've closed that chapter for good, because now, of course, I'm on this threshold of being a role model.